So here's the deal. We're gonna everybody stand up, get some blood in your butts. By the way, as we start to go through the manual role play, if you ever have to use the bathroom, just use it. You don't need to ask permission. Okay, got it? Please don't everybody like evacuate the room at the same time though when we do that. It would be easier, like we're gonna go through a couple of pages of the manual, and then you guys are role play, and while you're role playing, if your partner goes to the bathroom, just read it out loud like an actor learning their lines. That's kind of how we learn stuff. It's like anything. It's just like, you know, anybody ever just like play a musical instrument on their own to learn? I mean, or a basketball, you can just shoot around. You know, it's not like you need other people there necessarily to learn how to do a jump shot. Okay, so whenever you're practicing with a Cutco, it's no different than an athlete practicing something. You know, think about golf. You know, every time you go to the driving range, how many times you're just hitting the ball over and over again. So instead of hitting a ball, you're reading a manual out loud. And that's your way of getting better at something. All right, so if your partner goes to the bathroom, just keep role playing. That's how you'll get practice, which is totally fine. So we're going to learn the demo today. We have your manuals here. We don't have all the blue binders put together for you, so you can use one per two people for practice purposes. Okay, you'll have a blue binder for sure when you leave training. Okay, it's not like you're going to be like, let's do demos together. Share a blue binder. I'm just saying, for practice purposes, you can use the same one. You just swap it back and forth as you're role playing, so don't sweat it. Not a big deal. Later today, we'll do what's called a nameless assignment. And then we'll send you guys out in the field to go home, and then obviously we have training tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a lot of value building stuff, competitive brands. We'll teach you how to create your own first schedule. Tomorrow you're going to learn how to call people, people you know well, we call them. Okay. And tomorrow night, leave for your time. Once again, you'll leave, make some calls. All right. So be driven to an objective tomorrow night. Put some effort in. Obviously, every extra appointment's at least $22 more in your pocket, and an opportunity to make a difference for customers. Saturday, we do administrative stuff, we do your tax paperwork stuff, right? We'll go through rules and regulations so we can make sure we abide by them and run a good company together. We'll cover your timesheets once again. You'll get your sample kit on Saturday to borrow. You'll get to do a dress rehearsal with somebody. You'll role play the whole demo, you know, with somebody in training. You get rope and leather. We don't make you go buy that, okay? Imagine you go to the store, I have some rope and leather. What the hell are you into? What's going on? That'd be really creepy if they're like, can I come? I'm like, no. Oh boy, alright, so, and those are the 3 days of training. Then you'll start doing demos. We'll have an advanced training coming up. I'll let you know when that is. We don't want you developing too many habits as of yet, but there's also advanced techniques that I have to wait for you to get your feet wet until I can teach them to you. Okay, so you won't appreciate them until you get the basic training done. And then we gradually increase your knowledge. You know, I'm not going to give you like 8 years of knowledge in 2 days. That wouldn't be the case. If you ever start to feel yourself getting a bit overwhelmed, know that you're choosing that. Be like, it's all good. I'm still on track. See, the first time I teach you something, I'll probably repeat it about 17 more times in training. Because like, yes, I'm getting that, Joe. I know. And that's good, because in that way, it's like, all right, cool, this is the 3rd time I'm hearing this. I'm getting the hang of this. I get it, all right? So if you hear something the first time, don't be like, Be like, all right, we're going to cover this a few more times. And if you forget something, I don't care. Just go ahead and when in doubt, just read the darn manual with enthusiasm. You'll be okay. Like, you're going to use this on your demos. You don't even have a choice, I'm telling you, all right? The only thing you have to memorize is like 2 things. I'll teach that to you tomorrow. Page 1 through 7 of this is the demo itself, like the conversation with the customer. You're just going to read this with enthusiasm. You guys got it? Okay? Don't waste time memorizing something you don't have to. It's like memorizing a math formula, but you're going to be given the math formula anyway. So why the heck would you do that? All right? So you'll use this manual. All right, everybody take a seat. Take a manual, pass it around. Let's get this going real quick. Okay, let's get that going around. Let me get out my copy. Now, do not flip ahead when you get one. Okay, if you flip ahead, you're not doing what? You're not listening to who? This guy, okay? That's the same reason why you don't want a customer to grab your what? Blue binder, and they're just flipping through, and you're looking at their forehead. You know, and it doesn't work. So just stay on the front cover when you get one. You can put your name on top, however, that's fine. All right. And then, actually, we can do this. Take 1 per 2 people, but then there is enough. Like, I think there's like 9 here, but there's like 14 of you or whatever. So make sure you have at least 1 per 2 people, but then you can begin to take 1 each too. You know what I mean? When we start to have them distributed and divvied up. Okay, extra manuals put on the tabletop. That'd be good. Okay, let's get this going around, guys. Send some that way. Point is, as long as you have something, at least 1 per 2 people. Now that we have 1 per 2, start taking them. It's fine. Okay. So that'll work pretty well. Alright, did you guys put your name on top? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Training coordinator, put Joe, Giannelli, upper right hand corner, Joe, Giannelli, upper right, Joe, Giannelli, and then somewhere, whatever. Alright, so, and then put down Jack Roth. Here, I'll help you out.
Where are we putting Jack's name?
Whatever.
Right on.
Christina Boza. And then we'll put Sarah's name, Sarah Rosenfield. Okay, so these are the people that will be making a difference for you. Jack and Christina will be going back. Christina's going to Thailand for the semester, so she's leaving pretty soon. Jack will be going to University of Michigan, so he'll be working with me and Sarah throughout the spring for those of you guys who are local, okay? Who here goes to school at, like, you know, locally, like meaning like in February, March, and April you're in the area, or you're not in school at all, you know what I mean? I got it, so it'll be with me and Sarah. The rest of you guys, you have the option, we could transfer you to an office away, or you can come back for May or something like that or whatever, okay? So you pretty much, when we can come up with a plan. The point is you have a variety of options, but you definitely want a strategy, you know, whatever it may be, but have a strategy. Alright, so rep number, you'll get that to, Saturday. So leave that blank. Office number 2709. 2709. So office number is 2709. Okay, and then down towards office phone number, you have 914 514 8966. 914 514 8966. 914 514 8966. Don't call the receptionist line anymore. Call that one. Alright, that number is for representatives. So if we're ever out of the office, it's forwarded to our cell phones. If you were to call a random line in that office, it'll just ring. Okay, so from now on, this is what you use to be in communication with us. Alright, so there's two types of check-in. I'll review. You're going to be checking in to review scheduling. We do that earlier in the day, in the morning. And then you'll be calling in after each appointment, because what that does, that allows for us to adjust the scope. See, if you don't learn from the experience you've had, then it adds no value. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing and what? And yet expecting different. Yeah, exactly. So that's insanity. So if you were to just do a demo and then we don't talk, it would make sense logically that you'll probably do the same thing on the next one, right? But if you're expecting better success in the next one, but yet nothing changes, that's insane. Alright, so by adjusting the scope and speaking to us after each one, that's the whole, getting better. See guys, growth and improvement comes from either taking more action or better quality action. So more action or better quality action is how we improve as human beings. Okay, on the right side there, field services, Cutco customer service. The bottom there are some websites. You'll create your own username and password for MyFastStart. I also created Top FSM. So we'll talk about that by Saturday. You'll create your own username and password. Saturday we'll go through letter A, we'll go through letter B. This is kind of like rules, regulations, and meetings and stuff. For now, go to letter C, page C. Now, we're going to start to go around the room, starting over here with you, Martin, okay? And then we're going to read each paragraph, basically. This will give you guys some practice involvement. Now, as we're going through the demo, even things that are in italics, I still want you to read, even though you wouldn't to an actual customer, but because we're in training, I want you to read it aloud. And I'm going to stop you guys every now and then and explain why you're saying what you're saying. All right? So I want you to start off on the upper, 1 through 3 tips for... Yes, read it out loud.
Alright, so follow the manual,
Okay.
cut a lot of food, and have fun.
Cool, that speaks for itself. Okay, next, Allie. We're going to go around the room.
Best place for demos is in the kitchen. There's better cooking environment, junk knives handy, and fewer distractions.
Okay, cool. So, listen, when you're new, do not do demos in people's offices. They're distracted way too easily. They don't have their own knives to cut rope with and leather with, right? Do not do demos on the couch with somehow a cutting board on your thigh and stuff. Okay, so you want to set it up powerfully, especially if you're inexperienced, which you guys are. It's like, okay, how does a kid learn how to do bowling? They put what in the... Isn't it called bumper bowling? They put bumpers, whatever, in the... So because their skill's a bit lower, they want to shape their expectation and confidence by making sure they're hitting pins. But then they start to get the person a bit better, they remove the bumpers. Okay, so when you're new, you want to set it up so that you can, like, even if you're inexperienced, you want to almost be able to get a slam dunk anyway. That's why when you teach a kid to play basketball, you have them take layups, not mid-court shots. Because when they're taking the layups, they're shaping their expectation and confidence about what they can do moving forward. Their opinion of their basketball career is being shaped, formulated. So what you want to make sure you're doing when you're new is setting it up for success, setting it up powerfully. So that way, even if you screw everything up, it's still successful. Bumper bowling. You can be like this. And the ball's like ding, 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 pins. Yeah. All right, so that's exactly what you want to do here. All right, next bullet point, Michael.
Best to show husband and wife together if possible, involved with cutting demonstrations and food cutting.
Okay, so that should speak for itself as well. Now listen, as time goes on, obviously we do daytime appointments with the housewives. But when you're new, you again set it up powerfully. So ideally, first weekend, maybe even first 5 days in the field, you want to do husband and wife together. Especially like your aunt, your uncle, whatever. It's like if you know you're. By the way, never sit down with somebody who doesn't do the cooking. You know, it's like in my house, my dad does some of it, but he wouldn't be the person you'd show. Got it? So if you were calling the Giannellis, you'd either sit down with Mama Giannelli, all right, or both together. You would never sit down with just my dad. He'd be like, "What?" Great, you know. I'm not being sexist. I'm just saying what's real. All right, that's just what it is. Okay, Jan?
Pennies made after 1983 are softer and easier to cut.
So use those, cut those. All right. So we'll teach you how to cut on Saturday. They're made of a bit of a softer metal. All right. Eventually, our country will probably not use pennies anymore, and you know they cost more than a penny to even make. It's like ridiculous. So it just goes to show you what the heck we're doing. Go ahead, Steve.
Customers should do all food cutting and cut rope and leather. You cut the penny.
Yeah, so let them handle the product. It's like sometimes reps are like, well, but Joe, I cut the rope for them. I'm like, well, how do they know it's good then? Like, but the penny you do. Don't have them do the penny, okay? Because you have to learn how to do it. And if they're like, that won't work out too well for you. Wes?
It's okay to bring food to the demo as well as asking your customer for food. Soft foods, tomatoes or grapes, veggies to chop, carrots or cucumbers, small fruits, apples or oranges, bread or bacon.
Okay, yeah. So you can take some out of their own fridge, ask them to do that, or just have them do it, and then or bring food with you. I used to bring tomato and like Tupperware with me, tomatoes, and then also I always had a loaf of bread in my car. Well, because they got to cut real food in addition to rope and leather, and it made a big difference. I'm just gonna tell you what works, guys. All right. So again, 95% closing ratio because they had a lot of like fun, hands-on experience. All right. So there's hearing about something, and then there's actually experiencing it. So I can tell you about a concert, that will not replace you actually being at that concert. So you want something to tap into their senses. I want them to feel the product, not just hear about the product. Next. Tim?
Stay in control of your blue book. Flip the pages for your customer.
Alright, so you're going to have your manual in one hand, binder in the next, and you kind of flip like this. Make sure you're sitting caddy corner with the person, like here and here, not across the table. Because that kind of creates this like me against you, arm wrestle, you suck my battleship feel. Alright, you know, so it's like if you sit here and here, and I'll reference this in a bit, it creates like a partnership. Me working in tandem with them to support them in deciding about Cutco, not me against them, like, oh, if they buy, they lost, I beat them. Alright, if that's the case, and you're just not taking responsibility for partnership. Alright, next.
Keep your sample kit closed and pull out items as the demo progresses.
Yeah, that way they're not like grabbing and playing. Whee! Alright, so you pull one thing at a time, like hand it to them, alright, that way you have control over how that's going, alright? Let them just play with stuff, alright? Next.
If your customer asks you for prices in the middle of the demo, tell them it's a surprise and you'll get to it.
Now take your pen. I actually don't say that. I say, hey, listen, it's definitely going to cost more, but we'll cover it at the end, but you'll see why it's worth it. So write that down. You know, if they go, hey, what's it cost? Be like, oh, well, it's definitely going to cost a lot of money. Write this down. It's going to cost a lot of money. You'll see why it's worth it. We'll cover it at the end. It's definitely going to cost a lot of money. You'll see why it's worth it. We'll cover that at the end. It's definitely going to cost a lot of money. You'll see why it's worth it. We'll cover that at the end. We're definitely going to cost a lot of money. Well, you'll see why it's worth it. We'll cover that at the end. See, guys, the price is the price. That's the thing. Their opinion of it, based on what Steve was saying earlier, we want to influence the perception before the number's heard. You guys get it? So your job is to explain why something costs more before you ever give them a price. That's how that works. That's why it's totally cool to, like, don't sugarcoat. You want something to cost more, because that way you don't have to hide a crappy product. We have a good product. It costs more because it's durable. It lasts forever. All that stuff, right? So, but yet you wouldn't cover price until it's appropriate, until you've already had the chance to explain to them why it costs more. That way when they hear the price, they're not like, oh my God. Instead they're like, all right, I get it. You explained to me why this lasts forever. All right, so there's a big difference there. It's called value building. It's called expected price versus actual price. I'll cover this a lot more tomorrow. Alright, so there's the actual price. It is what it is. We can't, we make it in America, we pay union labor, we pay you handsomely, the field's paid well, we use the best material, all that. But you can increase the expected price to outweigh the actual price. Okay? If you want somebody to expect a higher price, that way when they hear less, what's their reaction? Cheaper, better deal, surprise, you get it? Okay. It's exactly what you want to be able to do with people. Alright, next.
Always use your cutting board and clean up in the sink before you leave.
Yeah, write down, that's a good way to get more referrals, right? Because that way while you're cleaning up, what are they doing? So write down a good way to get referrals or referrals with a plus next to it. Kind of like so you know like why we would do that. So that way while you're cleaning up and using your own cutting board and getting everything taken care of, you'd want them to be writing as you're doing that. Alright, that's the little technique for you. You're up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright.
If your customer already owns Cutco, still do a full presentation.
Now write down next to that, it's more of like an inspection. Write down inspection. I disagree with the manual a little bit. Guys, I didn't write this manual. It's a great manual, but I stapled in some sheets. So don't rip out what I stapled in, please. That's just me modifying it. But I'm also going to have you change some of the verbiage to make it more effective. So one of the things with somebody who already has Cutco, it's more of an inspection that you're doing with what they have, reviewing the guarantee, with the intention of obviously selling them what they don't have. So what I say to them is basically, hey, listen, Judy, good start to your collection. Let's now upgrade you. I don't go, do you want more? As in life, get rid of the voice inflection up. Is that okay? Because it's not looking for approval, it's insecure. Versus, hey, is that okay? See the difference? Does that make sense? Versus, hey, does that make sense? Okay? You get so manly, but if you voice inflect down, it shows confidence in life. You want to do that. Versus, okay? Okay, is it okay if we do this? Maybe? Alright, so get rid of maybe, get rid of could you maybe kinda? Alright, so you voice inflect down. Does that work for you? Let's definitely do that. This makes sense. That's just the way leaders are, guys. Alright? It's like you want people, it's confidence is what it is, because you know what you're saying. Alright, keep on. I'll read a few more lines and then we'll switch to Autumn.
It's great practice. Ask for feedback and a customer testimonial.
Okay, customer testimonial, put a star next to that. What that is, it's a handwritten note. I own Cutco for this long, I really dig it and like it. I have one here, right? It's from Ron. The person owns a basic set. So this was May of 2011 was when Ron sat down with the customer. I have owned my Cutco cutlery since the 1960s. They are the absolute bestest, in quotations. She knows it's not grammatically correct, we get the idea. And no other cutlery can hold a candle to them. That's awesome. I don't cook as much anymore, but when I do, I still have the absolute best, Leslie, whoever, I can't read her last name, Bedford Hills, New York. Alright, so she's had Cutco since the 60s. 50-year-old knives. Okay, so Ron said, hey, can you write me a quick little note? And then what you do is you take these and you put them in your binder and you show these to customers, yes. Alright, so that's really, called a testimonial. Alright, so, next on.
Review product details / guarantee. Test their Cutco on rope and leather to determine if sharpening is needed. Guarantee page explains refurbishing instructions. Ask the customer what they use each piece for. Consult clothing for Cutco owners and create a Cutco wish list. Cutco owners love upgrading to sets, adding accessories, and buying gifts.
Okay, so now we'll dive into the demo. It's page 1, okay? Let's go to the back there. Alright, so Tanya, you're up. Better yet, I'm going to have you write down a couple things first, and then you'll start reading. You're going to read the best place for the presentation, okay? We're at the top of page 1 is where we are. Get your pen ready. From here on in, top of each section, I'm going to have you write down the question the customer would probably have in their mind that you'd have to answer. In doing this, you're going to understand the intention of each part of the demonstration or the objective of each part of the demonstration. So at the top of page 1, write this down. Why should I be a candidate to get Cutco today? Why should I be a candidate to buy Cutco today? Why should I be a candidate to buy Cutco today? So why should I be a candidate to buy Cutco today? Why should I be a candidate to buy Cutco today? Because if somebody decides that they're not even a candidate, remember the whole closed-minded concept? Then everything you say to them will fall on their deaf ears. So if I decide to be a no before I even heard you out, the way I get to be right about that, I'm really not going to pay attention to you. Let me illustrate it. So somebody called me a couple years ago to collect donations from me. And at first, see, I'm very in tune with my thoughts. I train myself to be so I can shape my expectation. And at first I'm like, oh man, I wish you didn't pick up the phone. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to donate. Alright, but I don't want to say no, I feel mean. Oh, I know, I'll tell him money's tight. Meanwhile, the whole time I'm not, what? I'm not listening at all. Alright, I was totally up in my own head having a conversation. And I said, money's tight. He was like, and the guy goes, okay, bye. Which means he totally didn't expect me to donate. It's like, aha. Alright, meanwhile, a week later I flew to Vegas. I go to Vegas like 4 or 5 times. Alright, I'll be moving there, either there or Bermuda for 6 months. Alright, so I had money to spend. And granted, I probably should have just shot it straight to the guy. I should have been like, listen, I just don't want to donate right now. But I was being wimpy. Whatever. My point is that, was I at any given time open-minded? So I was never even a candidate to donate. You get it? So what he could have done to be more effective, hey, Mr. Giannelli, you may be a no right now. What I ask you to do is at least hear me out, and at the end of the conversation then decide. That way you can see if there's any value in it for you to donate or not. And it'll be easy for you to say yes or no at the end of the conversation. Now, I may still not have donated, but at least that way I'd be what? Listening, because he was promoting value in it for me to at least listen, be a candidate. See, too often reps just dive on in without the customer being open-minded. Why? Well, because a lot of times we're insecure, so we call like our Aunt Teresa or something. We go, don't have to buy, don't have to buy, don't have to buy. It's practice, 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 practice. So now the person, your aunt, thinks it's pretend. She's like, oh yeah, okay, cool, you'll pretend. Here you go, you little cute job. And at the end, you go, would you like to give it a try? She's like, what? I thought this was pretend. And you're like, oh man, this is weird. So from that, it's because we screwed up and we didn't let them know that they should be a candidate. You guys get it? You're not going to twist their arm or force them, guys. Ultimately, it's their choice, but at the very least, you want to make sure they know there's a possibility. So you have to be the one to set the stage appropriately for that, okay? At the top, write down partnership versus competition. These are little things you write at the top of the page, guys. Top of page 1 is where you should be writing this. Partnership versus competition. So that way, before you dive in, you look at it and go, okay, aha, I know what I have to accomplish here. So that's a big thing. Put down emotional and intellectual decision. Emotional and intellectual decision. Emotional, intellectual. So it's kind of like the decision has to be intellectual, like it has to make sense to them, but that's not enough. We don't spend our money just because it makes sense. We also want to feel good. So it has to be an emotional decision, but also an intellectual decision as you're showing them Cutco, guys. So make sure you accomplish both of those things. Write down collaborative effort. These are quotes or things you could use with them. Be like, hey, Aunt Sally, I want to make sure this is a collaborative effort. If you don't like that word, come up with a different one for it. Because it's a team effort, or whatever. Alright, so the things I'm having you add, I'm not married to you having them word for word. The manual, you're going to read to the customer, okay? But these extra things I'm throwing out there to you, I just want to make sure you understand the intention or the objective behind what you're doing. Alright, so let's keep reading. Who's up just now? Okay, so read the best place.
The best place for the presentation is at the kitchen table. Social etiquette, build rapport, goals recommended 10 minutes.
So that should take about 10 minutes. So building rapport with somebody means connecting with them. Because that way you're taking responsibility for how they view you. If they view you as just sort of like a cold salesperson, we naturally compete with those people. You ever notice how when you go to the store or something, you're like, no thank you, I don't need help. So the first 10 minutes you gotta say, here's what I'm into, here's my hobbies, here's why I'm working, you find out about them. So that way you're creating it, you're turning it into a convert, you're humanizing yourself basically, is what you're doing. Right? I'm a cool person, here to talk to you, connect with you about a neat product line. It's got to feel like a conversation, not a speech, guys. So the first 10 minutes, literally, take your time with the upper portion of this page. The blue binder's not even open here, guys. All this here is all just connecting, rapport, relationship, all that great stuff. Right? That way they just hear you differently. They experience you differently as you're sitting down with them. So many salespeople screw it up in advance, put it that way. Like within 2 minutes, the person already, there's no warmth. There's no that, and you got to take responsibility for that. You can be very imperfect as a salesperson if you have quality trust and relationship. I've dealt with salespeople that are just like, technically they're terrible, but I just like them. You know? And that's not the reason why I buy. Inevitably, I have to like get value from the product, don't get me wrong. But do you get that because I like them, I don't mind that they're imperfect? Right, and I just feel like we're working together then, which is pretty neat. In order for us to advise people, don't we have to trust them? Okay, so you want to set up so you're advising them on cutlery. And that's this whole upper portion stuff here. Why don't you read one more paragraph, then Alejandro will take over.
Find something to complement home, painting, dining room table, window treatments, gardening work, kitchen, furniture.
Great. Next.
Get to know them. Kids, occupation, travel, hobbies, cooking habits.
Yeah, so, learn about them, look at pictures, look for opportunities. Hey, it's a great family photo. Where were you guys there? What trip? Okay, cool. Pick things you actually are truly interested about, otherwise you're just doing it because you're, supposed to do it. You'll be like, oh, that's a really cool couch. Meanwhile, you're like, that is ugly. So obviously you wouldn't pick the couch to talk about, right? It's not something you'd want to do. Back over to the front, Martin.
Alright, personal story. Let me tell you a little bit about me. School, major, hobbies, interests, family, dream job.
Okay, so you guys get that? So you're gonna make sure you're, connecting with them, tell them some things you're into. Like me, it was like school and sports and my family and my nephews and nieces. Now, if I was in the field, I have 9 nieces and nephews. And you realize when you so intimacy is different than what you guys think of it as. Okay, usually intimacy is self-revelation. It's like revealing oneself to another, and that could be creating a connection. You ever notice when you just find out about somebody, I don't mean like deep dark secrets, but just a little bit about their background, you automatically feel a connection. You guys did it earlier today, right? You just finding out somebody's hobby. Immediately there's a connection there. Just finding out, that they have siblings and named John or something. Right? It's just like, all right, cool, I know about you. You know about me. All right, yeah. Same team. All right, so that's what this is all about here. All right, next.
I'm working with Cutco because motivations/future, skills, experience, school, etc.
So tell them exactly why you're working. And go through it. Each of you guys your own story. Normally if we had time, I felt like I gave you guys more time to mingle a bit. Normally we would have gone around the room and you each would have said, here's why I'm working. Alright, and then I would have given you practice, like also public speaking too. But make sure you tell that to the customer. Hey, I'm working because I'm gaining this. It's okay to talk about income, talk about growth, whatever's there for you. There's no right or wrong. So whatever you wrote on that sheet for goals and things you want to accomplish with our company, communicate that to them. Alright, explain to them why you're doing it overall. Alright, Michael.
I'm working with Cutco because.
Oh, she read that already, so keep going.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
My
okay.
skills and experience I will gain with Cutco will put me ahead of the competition for internships and future jobs if I do well enough. I will get a signed President's Club recommendation letter from the CEO of the company to add to my resume.
So here's mine from 1999. Okay, so guys, there's a poster back there that tells you how to earn that. There's 3 Cutco campaigns: spring, summer, fall. You guys are in the middle of the spring right now. You get the idea. It's not, I guess it's winter, but you get the point. January through May is one campaign for Cutco Cutlery. All you got, because you're beginning in January, you got to sell $8,000 from now till the May 1st, and then you get a hand-signed letter of recommendation from the CEO of the company. All right, so $8,000. And it's cool because it's real ink. I was like, wow, real ink. Okay, yours will be signed by Al DiLeonardo. This was Mike Lancelot. He's retired now. Okay, Al's the current CEO of Cutco East, or Vector East, okay? So it's great. It raves about you, talks about the skills you gain. It says, feel free to contact me personally at our corporate headquarters, and it's signed by the CEO. Even though he's never met you, he knows you. Meaning he knows the skill you have to have in order to sell $8,000. So therefore he can speak about you and saying these are the skills. It also has the division manager's name in it, all right, as well. So, and then a phone number for the division manager. So earn this. Really work hard. And you read it too, you're like, wow, this is cool. I actually have gained these things. Making yourself more confident and having a new opinion of yourself. All right, so $8,000 and you win your President's Club letter, guys. And I kept mine all these years later. All right, so something I'm proud of. And then every additional campaign, you can win one. So you can win 3 a year. I want to accumulate them, okay, over time. So that's the whole President's Club letter thing, okay? Now, one thing that popped up, I'm glad it happened. Anytime you find yourself saying sorry, you want to catch it. Only say sorry if you, step on somebody's toe. And I used to do this all the time. I would, make a mistake reading. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. So it was almost like I was apologizing for, being human. You get it? So the view of myself was that I was, almost less than. Okay? And I'm saying this to shape your confidence levels when it comes to performing. Now, listen, if you step on my foot, please say what? Sorry, right? But if you make a mistake reading, there's no negative impact there. So you want to catch yourself. So shy away from saying you're sorry, because in that moment you're deciding, I just screwed up. You guys get that? So it's you know what I mean. There's been times in our life where all of us are like, I'm sorry. I just breathe, I'm sorry. Right? So it's funny, I always use this as an example. This came out of my car. One of the reps was in my back seat. Jack was there in the other back seat. And his Hardy Slicer was in the bag, and he friggin' my new car. He carved up my back seat with his Hardy Slicer. Alright? First of all, I demonstrated how you can respond, not react. 10 years ago, I probably would have bit the guy's head off. Right? You know what I mean? Instead, I was like, in a split second, I'm like, breathe. Don't go to your reptilian part of your brain, Joe. Go to your evolved part of your brain. You guys know that if we just speak right after somebody says something, usually we're reacting instead of choosing to respond. That's truly how it works. Like you'll go into like your underdeveloped part of your brain. And then that's how people get angry, right? Upset, triggered. You ever see two people angry at each other? They're both spewing stupidity and they don't know what the hell they're saying. Right? You say cat with the tail puffed out. Right? So you want to learn to relax. When somebody says to you, take a deep breath. Literally, the whole count to three thing. It's based on science. So then you go into your more developed part of your brain. You could like think clearly then. Anyway, I took a deep breath. I'm like, all right, the kid didn't mean. Who cares? Whatever. All right, and then and the old joke is if you ever cut up my car, say you're sorry. All right, but if you ever screw up reading, I don't care. Don't say you're sorry because you didn't do anything wrong. All right, otherwise you're just making up a view about yourself that I'm wrong. All right, and you don't want to. It just it becomes a low self-image then. Okay, so and you guys want to be producing great results for our company. It means you have to have a confident view of yourself versus anything else. All right, so next, yeah.
Full-time students. The All-American Scholarship phrase gives me the opportunity to earn money for school. It's based on sales, so I'd like to keep a full schedule.
So now open up to the blue binder for those of you guys who can look on with somebody. One page in on the blue binder should be an All-American Scholarship brochure. And a lot of you guys in the front pocket should be a little Cutco, like how to use and choose. If you don't have one there, it's not a big deal. But look at the All-American Scholarship. So you're going to find that the blue binder is like PowerPoint. Your training manual is like your speech. You guys get me? So you're going to be reading your speech, even though I know we want it to be a conversation, just follow the analogy. Your manual is like a speech, and then you guys know people use PowerPoint, right? So the blue binder is kind of like your PowerPoint. Customers are going to check out the pictures. Your training manual is what you'll all be following along with. And you'll see every page is kind of like a picture of what you're talking about in your what? In each page in your training manual, okay? So that's how that works. So that's why you talk with the All-American Scholarship. To win an All-American Scholarship, you'd have to be, for the spring, top 25 in the nation. It would take probably about 30,000 in sales. So even if you're not going to sell all year round, you could still do enough this month of January before you go back to school to win a scholarship. Danielle, Christina's older sister, sold enough in the month of January to win a scholarship, even though she didn't sell February, March, and April. So work hard. It's about 30K is what it'll probably, my guess. It all depends on the rankings, right? I can't tell you exactly what it is. It depends on how everybody does throughout the nation. But usually it's about 30K, which means you'd make $9,000 in income, by the way, as well. And you get All-American status on your resume, which means you're top 25 out of like 40 to 50,000 students, which is awesome, for your resume credibility. All right, below that bullet point, write this down. C Club. So take your pen. So right above tie into goals, in your manual, guys, right above tie into goals, you got to write down C Club. It stands for Consistency Club. Exactly. C Club or Consistency Club is what it stands for. So why do we have this contest? Well, what it does, obviously it causes you to want to be consistent. And in doing so, you sell more, make more money, and customers get impacted by it. So that's why we have it as a contest for you to be able to produce a good amount each week. To be in the club, to get a certificate, first of all, to really earn the Consistency Club, like the title of like a Consistency Club champion, you have to do 10 straight weeks at a certain sales level. So in our office, we do $1,000 as the lowest level. So you have to do 10 straight weeks at $1,000. Now some of you guys are not going to apply because you're going back to school, I get it, but you can do it in the summertime. Otherwise, if you do 5 straight weeks like Jack, halfway to the championship total, you still get a certificate for recognition. And you get like a table knife with an engraving on it. And when you do 10 straight weeks, you actually get like 8 table knives altogether. If you turn the page past the All-American Scholarship brochure, you'll see that there's a page for it, a brochure for it. So check it out. You have the blue binder open, so one of you guys can snag the binder. Alright. So you see how it says Northeast Regions Rep C Club? Okay, so after this. Okay, so that's the scholarship brochure, the next piece of paper, one more, right there, that's the Northeast Region C Club. Okay, everybody can look on and see at least that somewhere, so and it lists the different prizes that you can win and whatnot, so there's 5 weeks on the left and then it's 10 weeks straight on the right side there, right? Our office record for most 3K weeks in a row is Osher. He's the only one that did 10 straight weeks. Our office record for $1,000, Dan Dolgesher one time went a full year of his life selling $1,000 every week. It was like 59 weeks or something like that. Isn't that pretty cool? He was a local student going to Hunter College. He sold all year round while going to college. And so he never missed $1,000 in a week. Sometimes he just squeaked by, but then 59 straight weeks, so $1,000 plus. He went almost 2 full years doing $500 a week. Back then we did track the $500 level. Almost 2 years of his life. Even when we went on vacation, he'd sell to previous customers. He just wanted that consistency. That was important too. Alright, so you wrote that down, Consistency Club. Alright, 10 straight weeks, you'll be able to explain the brochure now. Alright, who's next? Okay, Steven, you're going to do tie into goals.
Time to go, Mrs. Whoever, do you mind if I share some of my goals with you?
Oh no, that's fine, go ahead.
I'm looking forward to building my Cutco business. I can only work through personal referrals. That way I only show customers in a warm, comfortable environment. So by the end of the demo, I hope I impress you and you like me enough to tell some family and friends about me.
Okay, just after the word me, put down sponsorship program. Sponsorship program. So the reason why we have a sponsorship program is to give customers a reason, to write down a full sheet of referrals versus only a few. Okay, so I always like to tell you why we have our contests. So, and turn the page in the blue binder, past the C Club. You probably want to just keep it open. Alright, and then you'll gradually just put your manual on top of the blue binder. So right after the C Club, you turn the page, boom, you'll see sponsorship program. Alright, sponsorship program, yes. So here's how this works. In your white binder, each of you will have one of these on day 3 of training. Okay, so in this binder, this is where the customer will write down the names and phone numbers of people they know. The sheet that's in the blue binder, that's what you'll use to acknowledge the person for being a sponsor to you. So I'm your Uncle Joe. In your white binder, I write down a full list of my friends' names and numbers. Because I do a full sheet, I'm now a sponsor to you. You'd put down Uncle Joe in there. That's where you acknowledge me. So that's where you keep track of the people that put down at least a full sheet in your white binder. And the beauty of that is that you now have the confidence, wow, I'm getting a lot of sponsors. You also now will show that to people in your future demos. So imagine having like 4 of your relatives with a full sheet right away. Alright, and then you list them all, that way on your 5th customer, your 5th demo, hey, look at all these people that have sponsored me already. At the end, I'll tell you how that works. Alright, and then for now, we can read this. So Wes, I think we're up to you. Read all the bullet points at the top of the sponsorship right here, in the binder itself.
In helping others, we shall help ourselves, for whatever good we give out completes the circle and comes back to us, or afterwards.
Keep reading.
To qualify as a sponsor requires at least 1 full sheet of referrals given before the end of a presentation. 2 full sheets is a double sponsor. After 50 sponsors, a representative is given $200 worth of Cutco, which they can sell to help pay for school or donate to their charity.
Okay, so you get $200 whatever knives you like. I used to pick table knives because in my mind, I decided they're the easiest to sell. So I think you sell it for whatever you like, right? So, keep that in mind. But you want, that now gives you something to promote, so that somebody knows to go a full sheet versus like 3/4. Alright, make sure you don't use like 1 sheet for multiple customers. It defeats the purpose of having them do a full sheet. Okay, on the bottom it says referred by. So if you sat down with me, you'd put Uncle Joe here, and then this would be my sheet. 2 full sheets, I'd be a double sponsor to you. And that's how that works. And I'll talk more about referrals tomorrow, and also on Saturday we'll role play, we'll review the actual approach for this. Alright, so let's keep going. The next thing we're up to would be the whole I just got. So up to you, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Okay.
again, only if you step on my shoe or rip my car. Keep going then.
I just got started, and one thing I'm really excited about is my Fast Start contest. During my first 10 days, I can win some incredible prizes based on my sales. I'm trying to win links, so every sale counts.
Yeah, so now not all of your binders have this sheet. Some do. Turn the sponsorship program. And the next thing should say 10-day Fast Start contest. Do a bunch of you guys have that? Now I'm not sure. You may. The very bottom, does it say Bahamas? If not, we have to give you a new one to. Okay, so look at the bottom level 16. Is it 20 grand or is it higher?
15.
Okay, good. So rip it out if it goes up to level 15. Keep it in if it has the Bahamas on it, level 16. So just that sheet. Don't rip out anything else. We're going to throw it away, so you can just rip it out. So you guys, but I have to be neat my whole life. It's alright to rip it out. I thought you did. Alright, so most managers wait till like day 2 to unveil this. I want you excited about this as soon as possible. Alright, to me you'll role play better if you're excited about winning stuff. Okay, you'll make more calls tomorrow night if you're excited about winning stuff. Alright, you'll have more enthusiasm with your customers if you're excited about winning stuff. Alright, so I don't see why it hurts to tell you about this stuff. It's exciting, right? It's your first 10 days. It starts when you leave your Saturday. You have 10 full days. You're just competing with yourself because there are prizes you win based on how much you sell. The levels are cumulative, which is really exciting. So if you hit level 10, you win all levels, 1 through 10. And it's thousands of dollars at Cutco you can win, but there's also a trip to Bahamas, there's a party night out in the town, all that cool stuff. Alright, so again, throw away the one, I'll just trade you. The one I have in my hand is the one, this is updated, so it should say level 16 Bahamas. So, can we just, if this is garbage, you're welcome here. Why don't you pass those down, and then the old ones I'll take from you. Is that old? I'll just throw it away. Yeah. Is that an old one? Okay, that's fine. Well, the new ones are coming down. So when you get a new one, is that level 16? Okay, so you're awesome. You got one. The old one's garbage. Okay, you're sold. Okay, so when you do get this new one and you have a blue binder on possession, please insert this in. So snap open the rings, and so you're good. You already have one. Pass it down. Just your binder's good to go. So you just take a whole pile, send it to him. He'll take one, and then we'll send it to the back over here. You have one binder back there? So you just need one then. There you go. Sign that for you. Good. Here, take that. That's the back. Okay, and again, for those of you who don't have a binder, we'll make sure we get a binder to you by Saturday. It's all, we're just having you put PCs together correctly, so most of them are good to go. Alright, so there you go, guys. Prizes, $1,000 first 10 days. You guys win a spatula spreader. Win Cutco. That way you guys have a bigger sample kit to show people. Now, you don't have to have all the knives to sell Cutco. Your sample kit only has 4 knives. But it's enough to show the technology. But it can't hurt to then win them so you have a bigger sample kit to hand people products. Alright, so $2,000, you get the butcher knife. $2,500 slicer turning fork. Later today, we're going to go through the different knives. So you'll probably have more of an appreciation at that point for this, but at least you now, some of you guys already have an understanding of this stuff. The carving set at $3K. And it shows you what the prizes are equal to in worth, and then also how much commission you make. So at $3,000 in orders, how much income do you make? Well, $3,000 in orders, you make $400 in income and $797 in prizes. You can see how it's listed beneath the total on the far right side, right? Level 6, $3,500, you get a new steak knife. Level 7 is the Hardy Slicer. It's like a trimmer on steroids. You definitely want to win that because the Hardy Slicer comes in the Ultimate and the Signature sets, which are our 2 largest sets. So for you to hand somebody that knife and they use that to cut rope, it's easier to sell the bigger orders. Alright, so Hardy Slicer is an awesome freaking knife. Then you have the Satoku can opener, the new can opener and the Satoku, 2 different items. $6,000, you get the Signature block. That's pretty neat. Alright, so you have a whole block there. And they also make $1,000 in income when you sell $6,000 in Cutco, guys. Alright, and all the prizes too. 5-piece flatware when you hit 7K. 8K next level, you get the Fisherman's Solution. Nice. Select kitchen tools. Yay. $10,000. That's like the level to hit. Like you're a bad ASS if you hit 10K in your fast start. You get engraved on that plaque up there. 10K in 10 days. You make $2,000 in income. You also win the party night out. We take you out limo night. Usually it's one of those like big stretch plush party bus things, and you know, whatever. We have a good time. You know, I wear my hair down a little bit. All right, so we have a good time. Level 13, $12,500. You guys get the prizes plus $2,700 in commission it's worth. You get Cutco cookware to start showing people. Cleavers, the next level. And then the highest level, obviously, is $20K for your first 10 days. You get a bird beak paring knife and a petite slicer, and also you win the limo, the region trip to the Bahamas. Okay? So, and plus you make $5,000 in income. Okay, so anyway, before you leave training, you'll have a better understanding of the type of work this would actually take. I did $6,800 my first 10 days. Osher did a little over $3K. JBB only did like $2,000. So don't think you have to set the world on fire to be a successful Cutco rep. Alright, if you're an FSM and you sell $1,000 a week part-time, you're making $26,000 a year as a part-time side thing. You sell $2K a week as an FSM, which is really only a few orders if you think about it. You make $52,000 a year. If you want to make 6 figures, you'd have to sell $4K a week as an FSM. An average order of $400 is only 10 sales a week. So 10 sales a week with a decent success rate, basically you can do 12 demos a week and pay yourself 6-figure income. So that's the opportunity. Alright, so, and again, it's up to you what you want to take advantage of, how long you want to do this, all that stuff, but again, I'm always going to promote to you what's possible and dedicate yourself. So there's your fast start prizes. Those are the things you can win at the end of 10 days. We send those prizes to your house. Yay. Alright, so next we have the wrap-up social etiquette. Who is reading? Who are we up to? Donnie, up to you, man? So wrap-up to social etiquette.
Alright, sorry, Mrs.?
Yes!
Mrs. Blank, since I just started, I don't want to miss any important details. I'm going to be reading a lot from my manual. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it is. So we have you read that so that you choose to feel okay using your manual, because even though I tell you to, some of you guys are like, well, what is it going to look like? See, guys, using your manual is using your manual. Sometimes you guys make it mean, does it mean I'm new? I'm like, yeah, well, they know that. Who cares? See, whether it's written in the manual or written in your binder, you're still communicating information and making it different for the customer. So once again, you must use your what? Manuals, okay? You have to. Now, as time goes on, you're not going to be like this, hey, Mrs. Jones, da 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 da. You'll refer to it. So obviously through repetition, you'll learn. The objective is not to have you be perfect and then do your first demo. That's impossible. That's like saying, hey, listen, I'm going to learn how to swim without ever getting wet and going in the pool. And you'd be like, what are you talking about? That's totally not a workable plan. All right, the only way you learn how to swim is by doing what? You have to get in the pool and start to try to swim. So the only way you can get better at Cutco is by doing it. Not like, let me get better at it theoretically in my own imagination and then start doing demos. No, you just do it. Okay, that's why you leave your Saturday and just do a demo. Never forget, does a customer ever know what you're supposed to say? No. Because I've made like 20 mistakes easily already today. You have no clue. But it doesn't matter because I'm being intentional. No, you have a clue in life about stuff. Meaning you don't have a clue that I made mistakes, okay? He's calling me clueless? What's going on? No, I'm not going to call my salesperson clueless. That's the reason why I picked you, because you're good. But anywho, the point is you wouldn't know. I'm being very intentional. I know that I can make mistakes and it's okay. So if you forget to do something, be like, oops, I forgot to do that. Like, actually say that to the customer and then just do it. If you're so uptight, like, oh my God, I pronounced it, cutlery wrong. No. And it's like, who cares? Whatever. Move on to the next thing. Cut rope. Cut rope, leather, smile, promote forever guarantee. It'll be okay. All right? Promote payment plan. Awesome. All right, what are we up to? You're just reading Donnie, so Peter, up to you.
Great. Well, Cutco is an awesome product, and I'm excited to show it off.
Okay, pause there. The next two lines beneath it, so see this as I said over the phone, and then the line beneath it, you're going to cross those two out and insert something in. So cross off, as I said over the phone, you don't have to buy anything, cross it out. And also cross out, you could buy sets or individual pieces, and we have tons of accessories and gifts. So the next two lines, guys, cross those out. All right, cross those out, those two lines, and you're going to need to insert in right small. You guys remember I'm modifying this? Listen, the fact of the matter is, if you ask somebody on a date, you're not going to leave like, okay, so you're probably going to say no, and most people do, and I just want to let you know you could say no, but would you like to go on a date with me? Like, they know that. It goes without being said. You guys get that? So the last thing you want to do is keep reinforcing, hey, like, you don't have to buy anything. Just want to let you know you don't have to get anything today. You don't have to buy anything. But in your mind, you're like, I hope they buy. Like, what the heck? Totally mixed signals, right, to the customer. It's like, huh? So you want to get rid of those two lines. And instead, write this down. Write small. There's a bunch of stuff you're going to write down. Write down, keep an open mind about getting a set. Write down, keep an open mind about getting a set. Keep an open mind about getting, at the end, I'll definitely ask if you want one. So keep an open mind about getting a set. At the end, I'll definitely ask if you want one. So again, keep an open mind about getting a set. At the end, I'll definitely ask you if you guys want one. Put down, most people get it today. Most people get it today. So keep an open mind about owning a set. At the end, I'll definitely ask if you want one. Most people get it today. You want to use the word today because you don't want them just to like think about getting Cutco someday. It's got to be today, otherwise it just doesn't happen, guys. And last but not least, I just like to sum it up for them. I go, Judy, so basically today's an opportunity for you to own Cutco. It's not practice. So Judy, today it's not practice. It's an opportunity for you to get Cutco. You want to make sure make people know that they have the opportunity. Because if they think it's pretend, it's not going to work. So Judy, today's not practice. It's an opportunity for you to get Cutco. Now, if you guys don't want people to own Cutco, you should not do this job. If you do, you should be clear about that with them. You guys get it? Because otherwise you are having a hidden agenda then. See, too many people don't embrace promoting what you want. I want people to own Cutco. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. You would never have met me. You guys clear on that? So why the heck would I not say that to somebody? I tell it to you guys. I want you guys to be kick butt reps. You get to grow and learn, and we win. So anybody I talk to, even if I didn't affiliate myself with Cutco, if I went to that house right there and I had nothing to do with Cutco, but I knew about Cutco, what knives would I recommend they own? Cutco! Why the hell wouldn't I? It's good. You know what I mean? I know it is. So you guys get the point? Think about how much stuff you promote to your friends. But I think sometimes in your mind it gets weird because you're making money off of it. But at the end of the day, it's something you believe in. That's why you have to have product conviction to do all this job. Alright? So make sure you're promoting to people what your intentions are and your desires, you'll be okay. It goes back to that whole open-minded thing, the guy calling me for donations. All he needed to do was say, hey, Mr. Giannelli, keep it open mind. That way you can see if there's any value in donating. At the end, I'll definitely if you ask if you want to donate or not. Alright, that's kind of what you're getting across to people you know. With that said, Juliet, you're next. One of the
One of the great things about Cutco is your interest-free monthly investment options. So if you get something today, you don't have to pay for it all at once. Cutco rocks, so if you decide to get something today, you'll treat yourself for years to come.
cool. All right, next. No.
Thank you so much for taking time to see my presentation. It really means a lot.
Wait, oh, okay, in the bottom footer. I like using the word footer. All right, write this down. Do you cook because you like to, have to, or not at all? Do you cook because you like to, have to, or not at all? That's what you're going to ask the customer. On the bottom, the footer there. Do you cook because you like to, have to, or not at all? And then you're going to write down, we have the set for you. We have a set for you then. Do you cook because you like to, have to, or not at all? And regardless of what the heck they say, you say we have a set for you. Because we do.
What's the set for not at all?
I view the basic set. It has only 8 knives, 2 forks, you know. And even if somebody says they don't cook at all, they still have to cut up solid food, otherwise they'll choke to death. That's the neat thing about what we provide, right? So even though I don't quote-unquote cook, I'm still... Every household has a knife, guys. It's not like you're going to finally introduce them to a technology called knife. Oh my God, and ripping things apart with my bare hands all my life. Thank goodness for introducing this to me. So that's the neat thing about our product. It really is the most practical decision one can make because, you know, no matter what, somebody's going to have to have some form of a knife. See, it'd be weird if we were selling an intangible that people didn't really use, but no matter what, somebody has knives in their kitchen, guys. Or everybody has some kind of knife in their kitchen. They might as well have the best, though. Alright, so, anyway, do you cook as you have to, like to, or not at all? Whatever they say, alright, we have a set for you. Okay, and in your blue binder, I actually put an insert in there. Again, so now go past the fast start sheet. There should be a page that has the, what? Complete set, family set, basic set. So this would be what you point at when you ask them, do you cook as you have to, like to, or not at all? Looks right there. This is right here, okay, just so you can see it, okay? And then you point at, hey, we got a perfect set for you. Alright, awesome. And now we go to page 2. Okay, and we're up to the introduction portion here. Alright, so, and then we're up to you, Autumn. So, intro, and then return to...
Turn to the company page in your Blue Book.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. So you're going to flip the complete set page. So go forward. And you find the dude with the orange earplug. Actually, no, I take that back. Find the $1,000 shopping spree. See $1,000 shopping spree? Okay. It's 1 page into the main booklet. Okay, you went a little too far. There you go, bingo. Okay, so help your partner out if they need help with it, guys. And you can all share the binders together. So $1,000 shopping spree is where you're going to be turned to. Keep going, Autumn. Then you're on deck.
While I set up, we're going to need your favorite serrated edge knife, favorite straight edge knife, and a steak knife. Also, any fruits or vegetables you can cut up and snack on.
Okay, so you're going to obviously, they're going to use the head-to-head comparison with those tools, okay? Tanya? How do I pronounce your name again? I've been butchering it again, haven't I?
No,
It took me
you
for...
said it right. Say it again.
Tanya?
Yeah.
Alright, keep going.
Thanks again for seeing me today. Just for helping me out, the company has an appreciation drawing. Go ahead and fill this out, and you'll have a chance to win $1,000.
Okay, so once a month it's a raffle. So you'll have little coupons. We pick an office winner, and then we send them up to the company, and then they pick a national winner. And then we just give the customer a G, a grant. And they can do whatever they want with it. We had a winner, whoa, Matrix. Okay, in Carmel. There's a sheet up here behind the TV. So the national winner was exciting. It was one of my reps who is one of their relatives in Carmel who won $1,000. Nice. All right. There you go. I'm that good. Teaching, but not beachy. Stepping on the keyboard. Woo! All right, so let's keep reading. Why don't you do one more line, and then Alejandra's gonna read.
Just so you know what to expect, I'm going to explain the company and disadvantages of common knives. Then I'll show off the features that make Cutco the top selling American-made brand in the U.S.
Okay, next. Andrew.
After that, we'll review the pieces in our basic set and cut up some food. We'll wrap up by reviewing our set options and prices, and I'll show you some awesome deals.
Don't you prefer Ollie?
I like Ale.
Ale?
Yeah.
So next time write that on your name tag. It's all good. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not bad. You're not bad for writing your real name. I'm just saying. It just, whatever. I have no filter. It was just there for me. So, okay, so right after the word deals, you see the deals he just read? Just after I put Cutco costs more, you'll see why it's worth it. So you're going to write that down word for word, everybody. Cutco costs more. Right after the word deals. Cutco costs more, but you'll see why it's worth it. So right after what he just read, Cutco costs more, but you'll see why it's worth it. So you're going to say that to the customer, hey, Cutco costs more, but you'll see why it's worth it. Okay, so Cutco costs more, you'll see why it's worth it. And then what you want to write down just after that is you say, my goal, or I'm going to explain to you why we cost more than to sell. I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to apologize for selling you junk. I love that line. I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to apologize for selling you junk. I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to apologize for selling you junk. That's the reason why I sell this product line, you guys get it? Alright, so it's like I'd rather explain to you, here's why we cost more than to be like, ooh, let me in a sneaky fashion have them buy crap. I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to ever apologize for selling you junk. I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to have to apologize for selling you junk. You can change the wording a little bit in your own guys' point. So I'd rather explain to you why we cost more than to apologize for selling you junk. That's it, alright? I'm teaching you the idea of building value right now, and again, increasing the expected price, that way it outweighs the real price. And they understand and appreciate why it costs more overall. Alright, so, Martin.
So the company. So let me tell you a little bit about the company.
Please do.
We have been in business since 1949. We sell over 200 million worth of Cutco annually and have over 50 million referred customers, which make us the top-selling American-made brand in the U.S.
And you warm bullet.
People are buying Cutco now more than ever before.
Okay, next.
In my office in Pleasantville.
Westchester, Pleasantville, whichever.
In my office in Westchester/Pleasantville. My goal is to sell blank this year.
Let's do 200K for the month of January. See, that's what I'm promoting. Guys, listen, we've never done 200K. We're known as like the January office. We have one of the highest average Januaries ever, and this is my 13th year running a January team. I'd like to go out with a bang with you guys. You guys know this is one of my last few trainings that I'm going to be running. You know, we've never done 200K. The national record's $250,000. Charlie and his team in Bergen County did that last year. It would be nice to do 200K with you guys. Now it's going to take some above average statistics, right? It's going to take you guys producing way more than the average bear produces. But I figured I'd throw that out there to you so you could contribute towards something that we never. And we're a Silver Cup championship previous team. We're a Hall of Fame office. So it's not like we haven't had really talented people. We've had many amazing talent, and I've developed some like awesome teams. National records. We have 6 records in that other room. So for you to be able to do something that no one team I've ever been in charge of has done, that says a lot about you. Because you're contributing towards something very special. If you don't do it, we don't do it, but at least, hey, you know what? Let's have something to strive for. Okay, so $200,000 in volume. We've never done that for the month of January. Okay, so do your part to contribute as much as possible, and again, that represents customers getting amazing product line.
So should we switch this instead of this year / summer to the month of January?
Yeah. All you're doing is just promoting to the customer some, that you're contributing to a bigger cause, and you're also just talking about a pretty big number, which will increase value in their mind. They're like, well, okay, wow, this product's got to be worth more money, then it's got to be good stuff if they're going to sell that much of it. People, they don't want to be like the first person to do something. You guys get it? They want to know that others are doing it. Because in our mind, we then decide what? It's good, it's worth it. If other people are doing it, then it means it's been tested and tried and works and all that. Right? That's why you guys know. I mean, all companies are going to be able to tell people how many customers they have. I mean, obviously. It's not like, hey, we never had a customer, but trust us, it's good. You're the guinea pig. Right? You'll let us know whether it's good or not. It's like 60 plus years, almost 16 million customers now. It's like, it's good. Dr. Phil gave us away on TV. David Letterman has had us on the show. Right? So it's not like you have to get them to be the first one. We've had many people before them. Alright, next. Michael, the most
common way to buy Cutco is through a representative of me. But you may have seen Cutco featured on TV, on programs, Food Network, Modern Models, Native American House.
Write down Dr. Phil and Saturday Night Live as well. Dr. Phil and Saturday Night Live. So, I was excited that I had the ability to have the product be on Saturday Night Live. I was the one that donated the knives to the prop master, so he used them as a prop in one of their skits. You may or may not have seen it. It was in the media section of representation.com. So I love that. But promote where the product's been seen before for obvious reasons. Okay, it goes back to the whole credibility concept. Just beneath that, we're going to talk about what we donate to. So next, Liana.
All Cutco knives are handcrafted in the United States and are a factory located only in New York. Cutco Cutlery is proud to back the Vector Foundation, which donates to worthy national charities.
So look in your blue binder, just next to the $1,000 shopping spree, you see how it has the brochure with the hearts on it, the blue heart? That demonstrates we donate to Make-A-Wish and Feeding America. Okay, so we're going to donate at least $100,000 to those two charities over the next couple of years. So in your manual, see how there was a bullet with a fill in the blank line? Write down Feeding America and Make-A-Wish. Write down Feeding America and Make-A-Wish. You can talk about the charities that we donate to. So every couple of years, Cutco, we donate a chunk of money to different companies and organizations. It's our way of giving back, so we do good work, guys. If you're wondering how it works, it's for the customer who, if they buy red-handled table knives or red-handled shears, then that's when we donate. Okay, so you'll be able to promote that properly to people. Turn that page and find the dude with the orange earplug. So after the heart, the blue heart page, that's actually where you would have been when we were just reading the stuff about how many customers in the year and whatnot. So you kind of develop the ability to you'll flip to the orange earplug dude. A little too far. Sam, a little too far. Right, the orange earplug dude.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy with the fact. It's okay, no worries. All right, so that's where you'd be looking, and then you would have flipped back one page when you're talking about the charity. For now, just leave it on that page with the company history, picture of the factory, and all that stuff. That's where you're going to cut the penny, guys, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. All right, so Steven, you're up. To start off,
I'd like to show you two products that demonstrate the quality of Cutco.
Please do.
Super shears. Cut penny, then take apart, then hand shears to customer. Everyone loves our super shears. They're made of high carbon stainless steel for strength, and they have thermal resin handles for comfort. They're for both right and left hands. They're dishwasher safe. They won't rust or melt. They come apart, easy for cleaning. You'll use them for cutting through chicken and broccoli, opening food packaging, cutting cardboard, hard plastics, and other tough materials.
Okay. Next, Wes.
Veggie peeler. Let customers peel carrot, apple, or potato.
Ooh, that's great.
We have incredible, forever guaranteed, and dishwasher-safe gadgets and accessories. This unbelievable peeler goes both directions, and the blade pops out for cleaning. A lot of customers end up getting one of these two items for free. I'll show you how later. Let me show you where we got the idea for Cutco.
Okay, so let's go to the next page, and then we'll role play for the first time. That way, as you're role playing, it's energy in the room. You guys can stand and role play. I get these chairs get pretty hard. All right, so this next page, top of page 3, write this down. Top of page 3 in the manual. It'll be the next question that needs to get answered. Okay, the next question is, why should I replace what I'm using? Why should I replace what I'm using? Top of page 3. Top of page 3. You're going to write down, why should I replace what I'm using? So top of page 3, why should I replace what I'm using? So if you don't answer that question, you want to take responsibility for it, the person's not going to buy Cutco. They can love Cutco, but if they're like, why should I replace what I'm using, and it doesn't get answered, then they're going to keep using what they've been using, right? So you got to make sure you answer the question, why should I replace? Now you can say these questions out loud to them by telling them, hey, listen, here's the objective of this next section. It's okay to let them know the objective. So even the earlier one, right? Hey, Judy, before we dive in, I really want you to just make sure you understand why it's important for you to be a candidate. That way you don't deprive yourself of having a really good product. And when you get to this section, the purpose of the section is so you can see why 16 million people replace what they're using. Alright, so let's go through the reasons why people end up replacing the knives that they have currently. And it's just a way to review the objective and go right into it so they're taking part in accomplishing the objective of that section. Alright, who's next? Who's reading?
Disadvantages of common knives. Mrs. Blank, most people have a drawer that looks like this. They are the world's most expensive set of knives.
Okay, why are these the most expensive set? You can raise your hand. So turn the page in the blue binder, find the beat up knives right after the company. Okay, perfect. You got there, and bingo. Good. Okay, so see the drawer and see a bunch of wood handles and plastic and all that nonsense stuff. All right, why are these the most expensive set? Bingo. Remember the whole planned obsolescence thing from the interview? Okay, so yeah, when you first buy them, not too expensive, but if I have to buy them again and again, it ends up being very expensive. Alright, so that's the whole point. You save money over time, you pay a bit more initially, I guess. You'd rather pay more now, have something last longer, it'll save you money versus buying the junky version many times over. That's what you're looking to get across to the person as you're speaking to them through this section. Alright, so let's keep going. Who's just reading?
I would be reading next. In general, they are designed to break down over time. The average knife set lasts 2 years. Most households waste a ton of money replacing cheap knives over and over.
So write down some examples of that. Remember from the interview, put down computers. So take your pen, put down computers. You're giving examples of things that break down often. Computers, cell phones, Nike sneakers. Just want to give a specific example. Computers, cell phones, Nike sneakers, Aunt Sally. These are things that break down constantly. We spend a fortune over time on them. You know, the fact that we've even just become okay with buying a new like $2,000 laptop every 3 years, it's like, what? You know? It's like, holy cow. Alright, anyway. So the next section, we're up, Peter.
Mrs. Blank, do you have mostly wooden or plastic handled knives?
I have wood. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. I was like, it's a good thing I'm saying that with a female voice. Anyway, so keep going. Highly inappropriate. Sorry.
Wood handles look good when they're new, but they crack and splinter. They are extremely unsanitary. They absorb liquids, bacteria, and germs, and retain odors. In most states, they are illegal for restaurant use because of sanitation. I don't know about you, but if it's illegal for restaurant kitchens, I wouldn't want it in my kitchen.
Yeah, now even if they say they have plastic, I still would read both just to kind of review with them. The reason why you ask them what they have is because you want them to remember that they're having issues, right, guys? But these are from customers' homes. It's not like I bought these in the store and made them gross. Right, so throughout time we have what's called a trade-in special. So reps are like, you'll learn about this tomorrow. You can knock some money off the price of something. Basically, they can try to trade in crappy knives, and you can give them some of the table knives for free, which makes the set a little cheaper. You'll learn about that tomorrow. Okay, so it's like you can. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you now, but tomorrow you'll learn. So wood, like some of this stuff, I don't even want to touch. It's like, ugh. So even the way I'm going about this in front of you, obviously, what am I communicating to you guys right now? Exactly. It's like, they are. They smell nasty. Alright, God knows what the hell's in that freaking brown nasty handle right there. Alright, imagine each of you guys had to chew on this as part of training. You'd be like, I am out of here. Alright, you know? Well, here's my point. If I rub my hand on these, right, and then I'm not going to mix the ingredients of the food. See, if you rub your fingers on this, you'd actually feel like a gritty grime feeling that's like a residue, or you know, that's left on your fingertips after touching this. So you guys should never look at wood handles the same ever again. They really are just disgusting. Think about an old sponge sitting in your sink. Well, this is just a hard sponge. That's all it is. So it sucks up everything that comes in contact with. Evidence of that? You ever take a wooden spoon, mix red Kool-Aid? What color does the spoon turn? Red. So it sucked up all that sugar and stuff, and then that bacteria grows inside those pores. And then we mix the hot sauce with the wood spoon. It opens up the pores, and that bacteria just pours into our sauce that we're mixing. So again, you should never look at wood handles the same ever again. They're just completely disgusting. They've done studies. They found that the bacteria connected to the human hand and the sink is more dangerous than the bacteria connected to your toilet bowl. So you'd be better off rubbing your hand around the toilet bowl, than you would be touching these right here. Alright, so either way, you don't want to do either. Okay, is my point. So get grossed out about this so that you can communicate and help your customer a little bit. Butchers and chefs can't use these in the back of restaurants. Again, they're illegal because of food poisoning concern. But moms and dads still, in some cases, use disgusting nastiness just like this, right? So next.
Plastic handles melt, chip, crack, and break. They're usually glued together and fall apart easily, especially in the dishwasher. They're slippery when wet, which is extremely dangerous while you're cutting.
Okay, so this is one of the knives I actually got traded. So the Gaylog family, I did a deal on one of the Galley Plus 6s. So I gave them the 6 table knives for free and had them just buy the prep knives. And she traded me old beat up knives. This is one of the ones. She at first tried to convince me it was like ergonomically correct, locks her pinky in place. I'm like, really, this is Gaylog? This Gaylog, I delivered their newspaper years earlier. So I was like, yeah, I'm the redheaded kid on the bicycle. She said, yeah, Joe, of course, remember. How you doing? See, don't forget that to like a 30, 40, 50-year-old, 10 years ago was like yesterday. Some of you were like 8. You're still in the womb practically. All right, so, but to middle, like I'm 34, I remember everything from like 10 years ago. I'm describing demos to you. I'm describing a demo right now to you that occurred 13 years ago, and I can still close my eyes and envision her house. Okay, so my point is don't be timid in contacting people because you think they don't remember you. That's just not real. All right, and even if they don't have you in the forefront of their memory, you remind them of who you are. So, yeah, of course. How have you been? Yeah, that's just how that works. So anyway, she traded this into me, so to this day I kept it 13 years later to show you guys. I ain't trading. So plastic melts, needless to say. Plastic handles fall off. That's a great safe cleaver, Yeah, I don't think I want to handle that. This is a big issue. Remember the whole short time, but also glue loosens up? Okay, so Allie, check this out. So that's what happens right there, okay? So that's a short time, but the problem is it's plastic, so that it's glued on. That glue just loosens up, really easily. It's just slippery. That's a problem with plastic. They just crack apart. So those are issues with plastic. You want to promote that properly to people. Okay, next. No? Construction.
Construction. The tang is how far the steel goes back into the handle. Most knives have a partial tang, which is weak and unbalanced, so they break easily. Most rivets are made of brass, which will expand, contract, loosen, and create creating gaps for food particles, making it unsanitary.
Okay, so see these rivets fell out? Now this isn't made of brass. By the way, this has a full tank, so that's at least positive. But they use crap metal to hold it in place, so that doesn't do you any good. Alright, and then this is a potato masher. These are brass rivets, so the brass one fell out, it gets soft and it expands or contracts. Now if they don't pop out, you see how it's sunk in and green crud collected around there? That's just gross, okay? It's like, what the heck is that funky stuff, alright? So that's the problem with these rivets. They expand, contract, you lose them, you lose the handle. Very unsanitary and pretty gross because it creates a space where things can collect in. You know, and that's obviously a major issue. So those are problems with tang and also brass rivets. Definitely not durable. Next.
Steel. There are two types of steel. Carbon steel is strong, but it rusts and corrodes, which is unattractive and unsanitary.
Cool. Thanks, all. So guys, check it out. This is a big chunk of carbon steel. I could probably hammer a nail with this beast. This is like this has a lot going wrong here. This knife. Okay. All right. It's like a large vegetable knife, like walking and stuff. A big surface area you can scoop underneath. But because it's carbon steel, see how it rusts? See, diamond is a carbon-based molecule. When you're using is it diamond like one of the is diamond the strongest material on the planet or something like that? All right, so but because it's carbon steel, it rusts like you can tell. So if I rubbed a wet paper towel on this, if I took a piece of even just loose leaf without any moisture, the loose leaf would turn what color? Brownish, grayish, like So the same thing would happen if I cut through my food. Okay, that would just kind of remove a bit of that rust into your diet. So, you know, that's why you definitely don't want carbon steel for the obvious reasons. Tanya?
Stainless steel looks good, but it's soft metal, so once they sharpen, it's difficult to sharpen.
So you got this problem, right? You ever get the old boom, you're like, whoa, canola cut. Sneak up on the food. Yeah, so that's a major issue. You ever have a knife like the tip just snaps off on you? Okay, that happens, and it turns into like a flathead screwdriver. Right, which is not what it's meant for. So I have a bunch of knives somewhere near where they just kind of snap apart. So this one, it's a tinier example. See how the tip snapped off it? So stainless steel blades, that's what's going to happen. You ever sharpen them so many times that they grind down to like nothing? You get like the toothpick effect. I'm not trouble finding the one I like to show, but that's fine. Here's the problem with stainless steel. It's kind of weird to look at, right? It's kind of because in your mind you're thinking you should be cutting his hand off. Alright, so now because it's dull, I have to overcompensate by what?
Sharpening.
Well, inevitably yes, but if I don't sharpen, I overcompensate by pushing harder. Your job is to communicate to somebody, bingo, why a dull knife is more dangerous because of the extra pressure. So I bear down on a wet tomato, I'm more likely to pierce my skin. If I'm bearing down on chicken or something, I'm more likely to puncture myself. Dull knives are highly dangerous because we push down really hard. So you want to make sure you communicate that with people. Sharp knives are safe because you're barely even applying force. You can stop the motion of the blade. It's easier to stop a car going 10 miles an hour than it would be 100 miles an hour. Okay? So communicate to people that dull knives are dangerous, sharp knives are safer. It doesn't mean a sharp knife can't cut you. Obviously it cuts meat, so it can cut you. But you just wouldn't put your hand underneath it, okay? You get it? All right? And you wouldn't be sawing back and forth multiple times. I forgot to really paint the picture of the short tang versus full tang. You see how this little piece of metal here? That's what's called the tang. What you want is a full tang. You want it to go through the entire handle, ideally. Imagine I had a metal pipe in the dirt about 3 inches. Couldn't you just flick it over and knock it over easily? Because it's only in the dirt a little bit. Now imagine I drive it in the dirt 4 feet deep. Could you just push that over? No. So do you get the idea? So you want to be able to have the force to shoot it through the entire handle. Have the metal go all the way through. That's the best type of company. Partial tangs break really easily. Is what happens there. Okay, so next.
Edges. There are 2 types of edges. Serrated edges. Dip and tear your food and cannot be resharpened.
So they're the ones with the little teeth. This was a micro version of a serrated edge, but the teeth are gone nonetheless. The one you guys used this morning was a Ginzu knife. You hold that up, Martin, the black handle one? Yeah, exactly. That's a bigger serrated teeth, but that's still serrated nonetheless. So it's going to shred, tear. You guys know what happens to a saw when it goes through wood. It creates sawdust. So same type of thing with your food. Once you dull these teeth down, can you reapply this edge? No, so they're disposable. Some companies would say their knives never need to be sharpened because they can't be, therefore they never need to be. So it's a bit of a trickery thing there. Guys, there's no such thing as a knife that can stay sharp forever. Anything made by man or humankind will break down eventually. That's why Cutco, even us, we recommend every 10 years. So, but what I do know to be true is that the serrated edge teeth are gone, the knife is garbage. Okay? Can't reapply that. Back over here, Martin.
Straight edges make a smooth cut and go quickly.
Keep on.
Many of Cutco's competitors use straight edges. They are high quality knives, but they have to be sharpened constantly to remain effective.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to do what's called the plate test, and then you'll actually talk about it here. This is the stuff. They're a good company. We're great. They're still good. And by the way, you want to get to the point where it's like Cutco, and then there's everything else. Can't get intimidated by other companies' stuff. Okay, inevitably this will break down. You have to buy it again. It can take you 10 years, however. That's why it's not junk. It's good. Tomorrow, though, see how it has a traditional straight edge? This is their version of our petite carver. Okay, and so tomorrow we're going to rub these both on a plate. I'll make this razor sharp. Right now it's not, because we rubbed it on a plate last week. This will be razor sharp. Cutco's obviously razor sharp. We'll cut the rope, then we'll rub them both on a plate, and then we'll try again. You'll see what happens. Obviously, you know will be gone the edge. Alright, because of the friction force. Right? Like if I go like this real quick. If you went fast enough, you feel heat starting to create. Okay, you stop. You'd actually burn your hand eventually if I had you do that long enough and fast enough. That's friction, right? So if you rub straight edge directly against a plate, all right, it'll wipe the edge down, and then obviously it becomes really dangerous at that point. All right, so communicate to people why straight edges are more dangerous because they touch directly against a cutting board, and in a little bit you're going to explain why Cutco's better, obviously. Okay, next.
The hard cutting surface is what dulls a knife, not the food you are cutting. Both of these edges come in direct contact with the cutting board, dulling them quickly. A dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp one because you have to push hard.
All right, cool. Michael, read the next thing for the box.
Poor quality knives cost a lot of money over time. The average junk knife is $10. The average 8 knives in a set, $8 per set. Replaced every 2 years for 4 years. So 20 replacements is $1,600.
So-
Sanitary, unsafe.
Perfect. It's a way to illustrate how planned obsolescence ends up really kicking you in the bud, costing a lot of money, replacing the knives over and over again, okay? Last bullet point, Leanna, and then we'll have you guys role play.
Let me show you how Cutco has solved all these problems.
Okay, so don't turn the page. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to role play with a partner. We've only filled in the blanks on which pages, or took notes on which pages. Good, so don't go to page 4. We haven't done that yet. Okay, so with the partner, you're going to role play page 1 through 3, and then you'll switch, and then you'll do 1 through 3. And then you'll do it again. Listen to some rules. Rules for success. If you role play once each, like me and Wes are going together, and Wes, you went 1 through 3, and then I went 1 through 3, Wes is going to do it again. You never want to sit around and talk about life. If you want to go out and get a cup of coffee, awesome, rock on. When you're here in this office, we are training, all right? Practice makes perfect. That's exactly what we're looking to do here, guys. So please don't be that person who goes to track practice and just sits on the pole vault mats instead of running. You know, I just kind of chills in the sun. I'm like, why are you here? All right, so if you go to baseball practice, swing a bat. If you go to soccer practice, kick a ball. All right, so if you're at Cutco practice, which you are right now, role play something. So as you go back and forth, you're going to read. Now, please don't judge yourself as you're doing this, because this will be a good opportunity for you to let go of the whole desire to what? Yes, get rid of that crap, right? You're imperfect creatures, we know that, same with me, right? So when you role play, I don't care if you stutter or make mistakes. The purpose is to get better, guys, and it's totally okay not to be perfect. Now, when you're first doing it, I want you to read it, word for word. Don't even worry about eye contact the first time, because I don't want you skipping paragraphs by accident. Okay, so me and Sam are going, I'd be like, hey Sam, thanks so much for having me over. I'd buy, hey, nice paintings. Oh, that's really motivational place you got here. Very cool. I mean, obviously when you're role playing, you don't have to spend like literally 10 minutes on this, but know that you will with a customer. But you are going to read everything. When you role play, don't read the italics at this point. Okay, you're going to pretend that this is a real demo, right? Now, I'd be sitting. Please don't stand as you sit with customers. Let me say that again. Last week, 2 people didn't hear that, and they were like standing, during this. I'm like, that totally isn't a conversation then. That really does feel like a speech then. So you got to make sure you're sitting with your customer. Again, catty corner is the best way to do it. All right, so I'm going to practice by having a blue binder in one hand, and then obviously you'll have the training mat in the other. And as I'm role playing, I'll be like, hey, great place you got here. Let me tell you a little bit more about me. Go to Cornell. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with doctor or business, so this is giving me a chance to understand business. I'm a little insecure at times, so the job's causing me to grow a lot. I want to make my own money. That's important to me. I kind of merge the two together here, right? I'm working with Cutco also because I love the product, and it's just fun. I get to be part of a team and all the above. So the skills and experience, Sam, I'll gain with Cutco. It's going to put me ahead of the competition for internships and future jobs. If I do well, I get a hand-signed or a signed President's Club recommendation letter from the CEO of the company to add to my resume. And because I'm a full-time student, Sam, the All-American Scholarship Race gives me the opportunity to earn money for school. Here's a picture here. It's based on sales, so I'd really like to keep a full schedule. I'm also in a consistency club contest. So, I like to do at least 10 straight weeks at 1,000 or more. 5, though, straight weeks, and I get some recognition, so that's important to me. So now, Sam, do you mind if I share some of my goals with you? Obviously, in that moment, answer say yes. But when you're role-playing, don't ask them a million questions. You guys get that? Alright, because in your mind, you think, oh, but I'm prepping them. Guys, customers don't ask you a million questions. They don't want to prolong, they don't want to lengthen the demo. Not because they're trying to rush you necessarily either, but they just don't need to turn it into this whole marathon thing. So when you're role-playing with a partner, just pretend to be a customer, just answer when they ask you something. So be like, sure, go ahead. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to building my Cutco business. I can only work through personal referrals. That way I can only show customers in a warm, comfortable environment. So by the end of the demo, I hope I impress you. You like me enough to tell like a whole bunch of family and friends about me. In fact, I'm in the sponsorship program. To qualify for a sponsor, I get at least 1 sheet of referrals from you. It'll be in my white binder later. 2 full sheets, you're a double sponsor to me, Sam. All I need is 50 sponsors. I get $2 worth of Cutco, which I could spend on, whatever. Maybe I'll buy a book or so, 2 books, college. And I just started, and the one thing I'm really excited about is my Fast Star contest. I can win some really cool prizes. During my first 10 days, I can win some, prizes based on sales. I'm trying to win this level here. I love to go out and, night out on the town would be really fun, like a limo night. But, more the merrier. I like to win a lot of Cutco. That'd be great. I really love the product line. Sam, since I just started, I don't want to miss any important details. I'm going to be reading a lot from my manual. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So great. Well, Cutco is an awesome product, and I'm excited to show it off. So really, keep an open mind about owning this set. At the end, I'm definitely going to ask you to want it. Most people get it like today, like right away. So really, today's an opportunity for you to get it. It's not like practice, Sam. One of the great things about Cutco is our interest-free monthly investment options. So if you do get something today, you don't have to pay for it all at once. Now, Cutco, it totally rocks. So if you do decide to get something today, you're going to thank yourself many years to come, especially because of that cool guarantee. See how I threw especially because of that cool guarantee? Guys, I'm okay if you insert in a couple of 1 or 2 words or here or there to review. Don't pull out a paragraph though and try to put your own one in. But I'm okay if you look at this as the skeleton and you want to put more meat on the bones. I'm okay with that. Alright, totally fine. Thank you so much for taking the time to see my presentation. It really means the world to me. And by the way, Sam, do you cook because you have to, like to, or not at all? Okay, cool. We have a great set for you then. Here's a picture here. We'll talk about that in a bit. Alright, well, did you get that? I'm just reading here. Alright, so you guys can be doing this. Alright, we have an extra binder here that one of you can use as well. May not have the Fast Start sheet in it though. Boom. Alright guys, so let's partner up. I want you 2 on the end go together, okay? Michael and Yanni, you guys are together. Stephen and Wes, together here, together here, together here, together in the back. Guys got it? Okay, you might want to stand and do it, that's fine, but you gotta make sure if you are gonna stand, you gotta make sure the blue binder's on a chair and you're practicing flipping the appropriate page. Okay, so that way you're getting hand of the blue binder and the tray mat. You can lean on here, whatever you like, guys. Alright, so just do page 1 through what? 3, and then switch, and then go back and forth, okay, guys? Now listen up, listen up, listen up. If you're like hardcore smoker, whatever, during role-playing, you could do a quick little, so come right back up, you know what I mean? But do not smoke in front of the building. We obviously have a dance studio here and a gym. So one of the agreements I made with the building is not in front. You can go around the corner. You guys get that, right? If you ever smoke in the bathroom, you're immediately off the team. You just won't work for me anymore. Clear on that? Respect the building, respect people's place of operation business. I've brought some food with you. Feel free to snack as people role play. Please don't both snack simultaneously because then nobody's doing what? Role playing. So you can alternate. You guys get that? So that way there's at least some practicing going on at all times. Alright? I'll be walking around making sure if I need to give you guys some pointers, I'll do that. Give you guys some advice and so on. Alright? So again, page 1 through 3 and then switch and then do it back and forth till I tell you to stop. Ready? Go. Bathroom is the gym. So you gotta do what's loud, like right across the gym. Again, if your partner goes to the bathroom, just read out loud, guys. No, the blue binder gets open, so yes. So you're right. The blue binder gets open when you talk to the All-American Scholarship for the first time, which is like 3 paragraphs down.
I missed the part to do and I'm gonna
so today's an opportunity on Cutco not practice. Basically want to say, hey, it's an opportunity for you to get Cutco not practice. Not practice. no, no, no,